Let me tell you about what happened to me.
Okay.
We can go ahead and start the show. This is more pre-show banter. I'm for my painting videos. Oh, I finally got the YouTube channel. I figured out how to change my name. At first it was just PTCAC, but no one actually knew what that was about. Mm-hmm. So I changed that to Peace Through Colors Arts and Crafts, what the PTCAC stands for. But also I was using like beats for like my background music because I can't really do a whole lot of talking because because where I paint is near my freezer and my freezer is really stinking loud.
Right.
So I did. So I was just downloading beats off of YouTube and just sticking the beats behind there, and I figured no one would care if I was like, just using beats. I wasn't using anybody's songs. But yeah, I started getting copyright flagged.
Could you
they didn't shut down none of the videos. They just said I couldn't monetize. Well, I can't monetize anyway because I have 12 subscribers. So
right.
So so if you listening to this and you fuck with your boy, please hit that subscribe button on Peace Through Colors Arts and Crafts YouTube page. I need that. I need them. I need more subscribers so I can do more things, because as long as I only have 12 subscribers, there's some things that I would like to do, like custom names and stuff like that I can't change. You know what I mean?
Arcana's in the building, man.
Huh?
Arcana's in the building.
I see you, dog.
He said my beard is huge. Huge.
Yeah, he looks
huge.
More like a hipster. Like the combination between the beard, the glasses, and that little swirl up front. You know what I mean? The little hook swirl. Makes you look super hipstery.
That's how my hair grow.
Are you putting on your girl's jacket, bro?
Yeah.
That's your girl jacket, though.
That's what I'm doing, man. Man, I need to lose some weight.
No, you need to stop wearing your girl's jacket. That's how it feels. Maybe wearing her jacket is not really what's hot on these streets right now. Maybe, I don't know. He said, now you're Jesus. He has kind of he very much has a hipster Jesus thing going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, when my hair grows, I just, get out of my face. Because that's the one thing is, I thought that maybe at some point, when I was in high school, that I could grow my hair long and stuff. I don't know, man.
Oh, people that, because Arcana was here, and that's the character's jacket. I see what you're doing there.
When you see people playing guitar, they're in a rock band or something, their hair's in their face. How do they do that, man? If my hair gets any long and I'm it even touches my eyebrows, I'm holy crap! Come on, give me a hairpin and put this shit up, because I am
You know what? This is what I think you should do. If you're gonna look like a hipster, you might as well go full on hipster. Let it all grow out and give yourself a man bun.
Dude, there's my man bun.
You need a man bun. You know what I'm saying? I think you would look alright with a man bun. I think you could pull a man bun off.
Yeah, man buns, they get made fun of a lot, but I mean, if you can rock one, whatever. It's just basically a ponytail that's a little higher. But I don't really give a shit.
Get you a man bun and then twist the ends of your mustache so you look like a 1920s boxer. Nah, I mean. That's what's up right there. People listen to this on the podcast and not gonna understand what we're talking about right now. I mean, they can't see it. They know what we're talking about because everybody knows what that 1920. All right, you just got to do like this. Higher, man. You got to protect your face.
Yeah, I know. I had to show my face on the camera there.
That's why I turn sideways when I do it.
Yeah.
I turn sideways. See?
Yeah. But yeah, I totally try to show it off to Kana. But yeah, I think the man bun thing comes from the white dudes with dreads were the original man bunners because they would put it on top of their head, you know.
White dudes with dreads. Okay, let me tell you about white dudes with dreads.
Okay.
Like the problem with white dudes with dreads is not the fact that they're white dudes with dreads. It's the fact that the dreads always look nasty because, like, the things that you have to do to your hair in order to make dreads, because, like, I know brothers use, like, beeswax and lemon juice and all that kind of stuff. And if you take care of it and you go to the people and they twist it up for you and make sure that it lock right, it can look pretty decent as long as it, you know, like, if you go, like, the Rastafarian route and it just looks like, you know, hair cakes. Is a completely different situation. But, like, if you have your dreads taken care of, like, that can actually look cool. Like, I don't know, is there someone that can take care of white dreads? Because white dreads always look nasty. Like, they always look dirty. Like,
maybe it's like, the guys that have the white dreads are nasty dudes. Because I mean, I had a buddy who had dreads, and his seemed pretty clean, but I mean, he said that, you know, he washed them just like he would, and, you know, washing it is not going to, like, undread it because it's dreaded. So, I mean, he would keep them clean.
I heard some weird shit, right? Like, in order to get white dreads, like, you got to use like egg yolks or egg whites or some shit like that. In order,
I mean, I don't know nothing about it, how to fucking dread,
but see, here's the thing.
But I heard it was the beeswax, though. But that's all I've ever heard.
Here's the thing. They always just look dirty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, even if, like, you're clean cut, you're in a suit, and, like, you really, like, wanna, you know, show off your white dreads or whatever like that, and you want to make yourself look presentable, but, like, it always makes you look like you smell like foot.
It looks like you've been at a 311 concert for the past 3 years.
Know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like a couple 311 songs, like, but, like, I ain't trying to look like that for the rest of my life.
Right.
I ain't trying to look like I never want to look like I like 311. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the only worst thing is to be a juggalo, but, like, come on, like I don't want to look like that. I don't want you to be able to look at me and tell that I like 311. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's like looking at me and, like, you can tell that I like, you know, that you know, looking at somebody and saying that dude really likes R. Kelly music, which means, like, I'm 40 years old, but I dress like I'm 16. Like, yo, you know what? I seen this video, right?
You could say that I'm 34 and I dress like I'm 16. I mean, I'm wearing the same fucking shit.
No, it's a completely different thing. Like, you ain't go full on R. Kelly. Like, you just look like a dude who just likes his t-shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a completely different dude. I'm talking about this dude. He looks like a 16. He dresses like he's a 16-year-old wannabe gangster, but he's an R&B singer, and it's fucking confusing because he's like 50, and apparently he still likes 18-year-old girls or younger. So that's a problem.
Yeah, I was about to say, has he cleaned up? He's got the 18.
No, I think when he got in his recent trouble, where they said that he was out messing with where he had those houses. He had 3 houses in 3 different areas full of women that were there on their own. You know, is like they try to say is some sort of like sex cult. But, like, they kept trying to get him, but they was like, well, we can't really do anything because everybody's 18 or older. So maybe he cleaned up his act for that. You know, you never
out
really
of necessity
know what's really happening there, but, like, you know, the reports coming out of there is kind of crazy. But, like, I seen this video, and it is R. Kelly at a concert. and he is bent down in the front of the stage, and he is having some lady. She has some sort of cloth. Now I thought it might have been her drawers, but like no, it's some sort of cloth. And while he's like talking to the crowd or like singing or something like that, he's having her like wipe his face and like wipe his nose off, like cleaning off his sweat or whatever. But he is singing the commands to her. And it's just first of all, that part itself is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Then he just kind of stands up, and of course he's dressed like a 16-year-old. So like his pants, like the middle part of the pants his pants are probably sagging and it's like hanging like really low. And then you just got a whole bunch of women like grabbing at his crotch or whatever like that. And he's standing there and he's like really enjoying having just a bunch of women grab at his crotch. And I guess at some point one of the women either actually made it to the promised land or like maybe grabbed it too hard or something like that, but he just kind of jerked like, "Whoa, I think you went too far," and then he kind of backs away. And then the clip cuts. So I don't know what really happened after that, but it was just kind of weird that he's just like commanding a woman through singing to like wipe his face and his head off and all that other stuff, and then he stands up and just have just a ton of women just grabbing at his crotch.
Right.
It's just like something is just really wrong with that dude. And you know, there's a lot of singers and like music artists, well, artists in general, especially with the Me Too movement that we know about now, that are just kind of weird and like weird sexually. You know, at some point we I guess as a society we just kind of let that shit slide before,
or we just like, straight up didn't know about it.
I mean,
we
like
didn't.
People,
like, we didn't know about Bill Cosby, but there was people that knew about Bill Cosby.
But see, here's the thing. The thing about Bill Cosby is, like, for the people who knew Bill and the people who were around Bill, none of this shit was a secret. Like, none of this shit was a secret until the Hannibal Buress thing where he, you know, all of this shit came back and all of it really came to light because of a comedian was just like, y'all know Bill Cosby is a rapist, right? And it was like, no, you can look this up. Bill Cosby is a rapist. And like, people was just like, man, get the fuck out of here. And then he was like, no, just look this shit up. Like, I ain't even really got to tell you. I mean, I ain't really got to explain more. You can look this up. It's like right there. And then people started actually like looking that up. And then it became a big deal about Bill Cosby. But for like people who were around, like, none of this stuff about Bill Cosby was new to them. None of the stuff about R. Kelly was new, but then again, R. Kelly tried to marry Aaliyah when she was like 15. So she was like 14, 15, and like I think they actually did get like married, but then her parents had it annulled or something like that. It was just something really weird. You know what I mean? And then like, you know, there was all kinds of clues when it comes to R. Kelly. Now, personally, I like a lot of R. Kelly's music. Mm-hmm. It is very weird to listen to this to listen to it now. But
it is hard to like, especially maybe when you find out about it while you're young and it's something now, like you knew about it before.
Yeah, like I had an
so it's easier to like listen to James Brown, even though you knew that he was a terrible husband and all that stuff, because that's like before our time.
And then like the thing about James Brown is they made that movie, but they only put one part in that movie where he actually fought his wife. Like he was whooping her ass, but it was off camera. Mm-hmm. But apparently he was about that life. Right.
But then, like, something kind of new, you're like, you were listening to an artist and then you find out some shit about them. It's kind of hard to separate it.
Okay, but here's the difference with R. Kelly, and the homie Bomani Jones pointed this out. The difference between like James Brown and someone like James Brown and some of these other singers of the past and R. Kelly is those singers, like, we know them for their music, but the other stuff that they was doing was not a part of their music.
Right.
R. Kelly is like a sexual deviant, and most of his music is about sex. And there's some weird things that you start thinking about when you like really get to the point where you start listening to R. Kelly, and you're just like, yo,
that Chappelle skit was about that.
You remind me of my Jeep. Sounds like explaining sex to a child. And then like I was like, oh, and then like he produced Aaliyah's album, and like the name of her album is called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Right.
Like, maybe I should have been more attentive to this situation at that time.
Well, when you're younger, like say if you, it happens more with, you know, the other way. The guy's normally older than the female. I mean, I'm older than Amber, you know, but but say if you're a high schooler and then you start dating a college person, it seems like, holy shit, I'm dating a college girl. But then when you look back on it, like on someone else, when you're older, it's like, yeah, that's fucked up because that's a kid, and you're like, right. Not.
It's like how we have to now think about like these teachers taking advantage of their students, and like when you thought about all of this stuff before,
you like, I mean, fucking, what was the rock band, Motley Crue or something, the Hot for Teacher?
Yeah,
like there's literally a song that's on the radio like all the time about.
But like when you think about that type of stuff, you think about like college professors taking advantage of young women or whatever like that. And then like you knew kind of about things when you were in high school, but it was usually an older man that was a part of the staff taking advantage of a young woman. But like most of these stories coming out now, it's like these older women taking advantage of young men. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, originally like your first thought was Lil Bruh came up, and it was like, no, we have to think about this the same.
Right.
Like it's the same abuse of power. Even if like you're in a situation to where it's like, you know, you're a young man and you've been like, damn, there was a few teachers that I wanted to get at, and like when I was in school, but like I never really got that chance. And then, like, yo, these little dudes is popping off on teachers all the time. And it's like, bruh, where was y'all when I was in school? But then again, you, like you said, you become an adult and you have to think about this like an adult. And as an adult, you have to say that, like, little dudes popping off on the older teacher, that's just as wrong as the older teacher taking advantage of young women.
Right.
And there's a lot of like reprogramming you have to do when you become an adult. And,
yeah, because you have to think, like, for one, okay, say like this high school teacher, and she was a really good student, right? She graduated early. Say she graduated early, like she graduated. She might have had a late birthday or something, and she graduated not too long after she was 17, almost 18, and she started college immediately and then that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. She's 22 years old, teaching at a high school. She probably, as only 22, she probably feels like one of them still, but she's not.
Right. And then, like, you have to think about people like the aforementioned Bomani Jones. Bomani Jones started college at 16. You know what I mean? Like, he was on like a completely different set of circumstances than a lot of us. Like, he was actually in college as a 16-year-old. And so, like, it's all just kind of weird, and like the mental reprogramming that you have to do as a result of Me Too. I think that's the good part of Me Too is it made a whole lot of dudes reevaluate like how they have how they are and how they have been treating women. Like, and you know, some dudes take it too far. It's just like, well, now I don't want to do nothing. Like, I don't even know what's allowable. Motherfucker, you know what's allowable. Don't be a dick. Like, don't be a dick. Like, you know what I mean? And don't try to, and you know, no means no. And unless she actually says yes, it still means no. Like, it's really, like, this shit is not that complicated. And dudes try to make this shit complicated. And
well,
then, like, and it,
I mean, yeah, they do. They're trying to make simple things complicated, but there is some complicated stuff. Because sometimes yes still means no, when the only reason they said yes is because they really didn't want to do it, but they still said yes because they felt obligated, and then
don't pressure a chick. Don't pressure your girl or any woman. Like, just don't put no pressure on them. Like, if they want to, you know, let them want to. Like, you know what I mean? If they don't want to, then let them go.
Because I always said, like, I don't know how they get off on it, man. I really don't. Because like say there's a night to where your girl ain't really feeling it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To me, that's not enjoyable, man.
Right, it's not. And then, like, you know, I'm one of those people that, like, if I'm having sex with my girl and something happens and she says ow, like, immediately, like, if it's not that good pain, like, you know the difference between that good pain and pain. Mm-hmm. Like, if she experiences any sort of pain during the act, it's a wrap. Like, I can't do nothing. Like, I can't do nothing with it. Like, and then, like, knowing that you are putting somebody through distress and still being able to continue doing your thing, that makes me think that there is something very wrong with you.
Right.
Like, very, very, very wrong with you. Now, like, everybody has their own thing. Everybody has their own thing. But if your thing is, like, I can have sex with someone that is clearly under duress in this situation and I can keep going, like, you really need to reevaluate yourself.
Right.
There's some things about you that ain't right, and you really need to figure out how to fix those things. It's just, I don't know. It's just all just kind of weird. I don't. We got off on, like, a wild tangent. Like, we went, like, way, way wild.
Yeah.
I know we had some pre-show banter that didn't actually make it on the air. So, man, how are things? Half an hour into the show, this is Sarcasm. Chase is here. How are you, Chase?
Yay! I'm pretty good, man. But yeah, like, this time it wasn't the mic. I was trying to use Restream, which is kind of easier for me to, like, put the show up in the audio format, because on Mixer I can just download it. So I just said screw it and just did the regular. So we started a little late, but we didn't miss a lot of stuff like we did last time. Last time we missed a lot where we actually started the show, and I just couldn't be heard. And then Sam was like, "Fix your mic, Chase." I was like, "I know." Believe me, that, like, 2 hours of editing, like, finding my speech and, like, amplifying every word, I know.
Right. That's the stuff.
So yeah, I was, like, not happy after that. But we had a question of the month, and it was if you can bring back one game series, which one would it be? Sam said Alan Wake. Just kidding. I mean, I didn't say just kidding. He said just kidding, because he's just messing with you.
Right, because I really did not enjoy that game.
Yeah.
So, and I know people already think of me as a hater, even though Blue thinks of me as a hater, and he's very, very much the hater. I just didn't enjoy any part of Alan Wake.
It's just funny how vocal you are about your hate for Alan Wake, when it's just such a game to where like people either haven't played it who just don't like games like that, or really like it. Like, it's just such a weird game to hate on. Like, I've never really known anybody to hate Alan Wake as much as you do. They just don't care.
I really just didn't enjoy it. Like, there really isn't anything else I can say about it. Like, I just really, really, really did not enjoy Alan Wake. I didn't enjoy really anything about Alan Wake. Like, the times where you had to drive, the driving controls are terrible. Like, it's just not... Like, I understand why people would like it. I just don't like it at all. I don't like the mechanic of having to use light as the weapon, and then, like, I have to use light in order for me to be able to use my other fucking weapons. Like, that's stupid. Why can't I just shoot you?
Because it was a whole gameplay mechanic. I thought it was cool.
Right. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I know people really like that game, but I say burn the whole studio down. Like, for real, immediately. Just burn it all down to the ground. Like,
that's pretty extreme, man. Just throwing it out there.
Quantum Break ain't really do nothing. I mean, went like double wood. And the game that they're making now that's going to be on the PlayStation also, like, it just looks like Quantum Break. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like they're making a Quantum Break type of game. When I saw it, I don't even know the name of it, but when I saw it during E3, I was just like, yeah, that just kind of looks like Quantum Break. And there was no part of me that wanted to play Quantum Break at all.
I haven't played it yet. It's actually sitting up there on the shelf. I just haven't cracked it open. I heard people got really frustrated at the boss fight, but I don't know.
Yeah. I like the idea about mixing a game with an actual, like, TV show.
Mm-hmm. I can see how they went that way because of how much Alan Wake was kind of going that way on how they made it episodic, and then they had the little Night Springs shows in the game where you can see them on. So you could see that's an idea that they were kind of brainstorming for a long time that they wanted.
Right.
To. But anyway, little fast forward a little bit. Sam had a question for us before we get.
I don't think you did all of them.
Yeah, I know we haven't did all of them.
Well, why would you fast forward to another question if you didn't finish? Everybody didn't finish answering the first one.
Because it's in order on Discord. But okay.
No, so just saying because I'm lazy.
Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Okay, if that's how you want to do it, then go ahead and do it the way you was going to do it.
Well, but yeah, I'll go through the rest of the answers because I thought I had to scroll down more, and I didn't want to forget about it. But it's just right here. It says Mafia Thug. He says easy answer. Mag and Dust 514.
Okay. So, I've never heard of anybody who really likes Mag. Like, that was the first time I ever heard that in my life. Because most of the people thought that Mag was a cool idea. But, like, I've never heard of anybody that's just, like, really, really liked Mag. Which was a surprise to me when I saw that. And then, like, the Dust game, it seemed like a cool idea. It's very much Mag-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much Mag-ish, but, like, more sci-fi, I guess, because Mag was more just, like, modern military, right?
Yeah, I haven't really heard anybody championing Mag either, but when I've heard them say that before as well, that they really liked Mag. And, because Latina Mafia also said the same thing. But she said...
they don't count it together. Like, that don't count. That counts as one answer.
Yeah, I know. I know, but I was going to read hers too, but I was just letting you know. I've heard it from them before. And then... But when I think about the games that they really like, it makes sense. They're really into like Rainbow Six Siege and shit like that. Like shooters that are like super tactical. So
okay, that's cool.
So yeah, and
by the time I got ready to try Mag, it was done. It was over with. Like, they canceled everything and they shut down the servers, and it was just a done deal at that point. I kind of felt like with Mag, almost how I felt about Chrome Hounds. Chrome Hounds was really dope until, like, when I got it, like a week after I got Chrome Hounds, they shut everything down.
What's Chrome Hounds?
Chrome Hounds was a 360 game. I don't know if it was on any other console or PC, but it was a mech game, large mech battles type of thing. Kind of like Mag, but with mechs.
So it's a large scale, kind of like large scale Titanfall.
Without the fact that you can get out of your Titan. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's more like a refinement of the Armored Core idea.
Oh, okay. Like Armored Core and stuff like that. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a game series that I heard about in a while.
You know what? I would, if they came out with a new Armored Core, I would try it at least.
Yeah, I think they could do it and it'd be like... I mean, I wouldn't say that Titanfall is super successful, but I do know that people that play it are really loyal to it.
Now, but see, here's the problem.
What's that?
I think Armored Core is made by From Software, so we're never getting another Armored Core.
So because they're never going to make something that's not Dark Souls?
Pretty much. At this point, why would they make anything that's not Dark Souls or Bloodborne or anything else like that type of game? Why would they go through all of that?
Right. That's kind of become their thing ever since Demon Souls.
Yeah, like it's like that's all they're about right now. So.
But yeah, the next answer was from Annie Day Now, and her answer, she said it was easy as well, which was KOTOR.
I always thought that they should have made a new KOTOR, but with the combat of Jade Empire.
But what if you wanted to be kind of a Han Solo type character? And it feel more like Mass Effect.
I think it could have been done, or they could have used the Dragon Age engine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's ranged combat in the Dragon Age engine. Like, I think they should have just did that.
Yeah. I do. I have said that I wish that there was a new Star Wars game that was built more like Mass Effect. Which technically would just be Mass Effect because Mass Effect is their Star Wars game that's not a Star Wars property. But
yeah, the whole point was to make a space game where they weren't tied to that license.
Yeah, and Mach 20 said Mega Man Legends, Dead Space, which is probably never going to happen, and Advance Wars.
Yeah. EA. I don't really know anything about Advanced Wars. As I understand, it was a handheld game, right?
Yeah, I think it's like kind of a base builder type game, but like
I thought it was a turn-based. I thought it was a turn-based RPG. I don't know. See, like I said, I don't know anything about it.
I think it does have some sort of base building mechanic in it. I'm not too sure, but I think it's a 3DS or a DS game. But yeah, people that like it speak really highly of it. So, and then of course Latino Mafia, without a doubt, Mag, amazing maps, gameplay, the mechanics, all of it. I miss it. Crying emoji, 3 of them, 3 times the crying emoji for Mag.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I said, I don't know nobody that really reps for Mag like that. Only like the Sony people who, just said that it was better than anything that was on Microsoft console. But like, I don't know, that was just mostly trolls. Like how the trolls are trying to make Spider-Man like this super great thing that everybody stopped playing a week after it came out. Have you noticed that? Like the Spider-Man hype was awesome when right before and when it came out. That Spider-Man hype died in a week. It was gone. Like nobody is talking about Spider-Man at all.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really noticed that because I haven't really been paying attention either. I mean, I still want it just because it looks good, but I mean, $60 video game, just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to justify that when I can get freaking a big bundle of games in Humble Bundle, for $12. Right. But yeah, before I forget it, Sam did have a question for us, which was, where did we first hear about the original Xbox?
I think like the first time when we heard about it, like a lot of us heard about it like watching like E3 coverage and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like I think I looked into more of like the first time I actually had like an experience with it. Mm-hmm. Like the first time I heard about it and the first experience I had with it are 2 vastly different things. It's like hearing stuff in like game magazines and shit back in those days.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how most of us heard about it. But like your first experience with it is a completely different situation.
Yeah.
So so I'll say that like I heard about it just like everybody else did. E3 and like the coverage on like the websites of GameSpot and IGN and all of those. But the first experience I had actually made me buy one. I became an Xbot because I've told this story many times, but I had some coworkers and they would get together and they would play Halo 1. They would get together and play Halo 1 at a friend's house. And I was invited. And because I didn't really know how to use twin sticks like that, with the exception of like playing Ape Escape a little bit, like, you know what I mean? Like twin sticks was just not something that I was on. Like, right. So they put me into Halo and they destroyed me. And after work the next day, I went and got a fucking payday loan and I bought a fucking Xbox bundle with Halo and stuff in it. And I was like, I am going to learn how to play this fucking game because this shit is not going to happen to me no more. But yeah, I went and got a payday loan and bought an Xbox. And then like it came with some really shitty extra controllers. It came with 4 controllers. I think I got it from like Costco or something like that. They had extra controllers, had Halo in the box already, like all of that shit. But like, but yeah, I went and got that loan, and I pretty much primarily have been an Xbot ever since.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I had heard about it. I didn't get it right away. I had a PS2, and I really didn't play even that much of that, I mean, it was mostly, Silent Hill games and games that were like Silent Hill that I thought maybe I would like, but it was mostly just those. And then I heard about it, and I was like, because at that time, Bill Gates and Microsoft wasn't the most popular thing in the world.
And they're still not.
And then, so I was like, Microsoft's trying to make a game system? Really? You know what I mean? It was just, at the time, it was kind of foreign thinking of Microsoft making video game stuff when that was mostly for, like, you know, Sony and Nintendo and like Japanese companies and shit. And, but yeah, a friend of mine in Amber's, she just gave us her Xbox because she never played it. And, I mean, yeah, my little brother had an Xbox and we played Halo and stuff, which was fun. But yeah, then I really got into it. And that's the reason I went for a 360 and next generation.
Yeah, I went for the 360 and the next generation. Also, mostly because the PS3 was too expensive. Because remember, when the PS3 first came out, that shit was like $600.
Yep, that's one of the main reasons too, for me.
So, like that, and then like there's a lot of things about the PS3 that I did not like, and I was in like prior to my PS3, I had never owned a Sony console that didn't break at some point. You know what I mean? Like, in the Xbox was a fucking tank.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a tank. So, like, having a console that I wasn't worried about breaking.
Yeah, if you remember, like, we would have, like, LAN parties and stuff. The Xboxes were just, like, sitting in the floor. Like, just strewn all over the floor, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even fathom put my Xbox One or my PS4 on the floor and just have it strung around and we're, like, playing video games. I would think someone's going to step on that or someone's going to trip over it and it's going to fuck it up. But the Xbox, it was just like a fucking doormat.
One good thing about the Xbox is most of the official controllers have breakaway cables.
Yeah.
I thought that was a genius invention at the time because my first PlayStation 1, my ex-wife tripped over the cord and broke it. Mm-hmm. I had to spend like $80. I was still in high school. I had to spend like $80 fucking dollars to send that thing off to get fixed in order for me to be able to use the thing. Because she tripped over and then the controllers just stopped working. They just completely just stopped working. It would turn on and everything would seem okay. I just couldn't control a damn thing.
Right. It's a controller that don't control.
Yeah, and then with the PS2, I got a lot of disk read errors. A lot of disk read errors. And so, like, I was really...
You know, the main thing I use PS2 for, other than Silent Hill games? Fucking DVDs. It was the cheapest DVD player you can buy.
Yeah, it was most of our first DVD player. It was not mine. It was not my first DVD player. I had a cheap DVD player that worked just fine for quite some time. But for a lot of us, it was our first DVD player.
Yeah, but once I got a good computer at the time, I just watched all my DVDs on my computer. I would just sit at the computer with, AOL Instant Messenger up and watch DVDs in a windowed mode.
Right. Yeah, those were the days. I don't miss AOL. I don't miss AOL at all. I miss some of the people that I used to talk to on the Messenger, but as like the rest of AOL, I don't miss that shit at all. We never talked about our games that we wanted to come back.
What's yours, man?
The games that I would like to come back. Somebody already said KOTOR, so I don't really want to do that. I don't know. I think I would like another Jade Empire. I would like another a real modern version of Super Dodgeball. I think that would be dope. I don't know. I can't really think of anything right off the top of my head. I think I had one at the time when the question was first proposed by me, of course. But I can't think of anything right this second. I just, we started talking about other stuff and like Mag and shit, and I'm just like, I lost it. What's yours?
I've been talking about it for a little bit, but I think Silent Hill, and it sucks because that kind of almost happened in kind of a cool way, but most of your where you're like, man, I wish this game would come back, unless fucking THQ Nordic is going to buy up the property, it ain't coming back, because it's whoever was the company either is not a company anymore, or they don't freaking make video games no more, which is freaking Konami. Konami is.
I would like another Saints Row closer to the first three.
That'd be cool.
I want them to go. I want them to do with the new Saints Row what they did to like San Andreas, and just kind of did their own thing with that same basic template. I'd like them to do that with Grand Theft Auto 5.
Because even 4...
Saints Row version of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Because even 4 wasn't the one that came out for the PS4 and stuff, or this generation. Wasn't that even... That was a remaster. Wasn't it originally last generation?
Yes.
So there hasn't been a Saints Row game on this generation fully.
No.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because I was like thinking of Saints Row 4, and I was like, yeah, it still kind of looks kind of 360-ish. It'd be kind of cool to have a Saints Row game that actually looked like GTA 5 or, Watch Dogs 2 or something like that had that.
Do you know that they're making, they're putting Ages of Mayhem, the game that they made instead of making the next Saints Row, they're putting that on Game Pass.
That's a perfect game to go on Game Pass, because I kind of wanted to play that, but once I found out... I wanted to play it, but once I found out that, okay, this big hero shooter that has all these different characters, and it's a single-player game, what's the fucking point?
Oh no, it's even worse than being a single-player game. You pick 3 characters, but you can only be one at a time. You literally press a button to rotate through the characters that you choose.
Yeah.
And you're only using one of them at a time.
Yeah, once I found out all that shit, I was like, this game is useless. I mean, I'll play through it if it was on Game Pass, but...
I've heard Rashani say that he enjoyed it. But I heard it's extremely repetitive. And there was a lot of technical issues when it first came out.
It seems like...
But that's most games these days.
It seems like that was their game when they first heard about Overwatch and Battleborn coming out. They were like, this is going to be the next big thing. We need to work on a game like this. And then they still worked on their games. And then they heard that, Overwatch was really good. And then Battleborn kind of flopped. But Overwatch wasn't anything like what we're doing. But let's still have at it. And we're going to make the new Battleborn, which nobody wanted.
But you know what? I like the concept. I really like the concept of Battleborn. I just wish they would have decided not to put it up against Overwatch,
because it's not people considered it like the. I mean, I didn't really like it that well, but when people compare it to Overwatch, it's not the same game. Well, it's not. It's not the same type of game. It's a completely different type of game.
Yeah, I rented Battleborn, and I started playing through the campaign. I just had no idea what I was doing. The idea that the people who make Borderlands could not make a game that interested me enough for me to pay attention to the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of weird. That was just kind of a weird thing. Aren't these the Borderlands people? Why can't they design something that I can enjoy?
I don't know, man. Gearbox is weird, because when you think of Gearbox, you think of Borderlands, and most everybody that you hear around our age that's kind of like-minded like we do really likes Borderlands. Like, a lot of people really like Borderlands. But it's really the only good game they've ever done.
Have they done anything else? I mean, I know they've helped a lot of other people and did stuff for other people, but is that the only good game they have?
To me, it seems so. I mean, we can look it up if you want to, but
yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. We can find out.
All right,
we can find out today.
Right now.
Okay. Homeworld. I think I like the original Homeworld on PC. That wasn't really them, right? The original was not theirs.
The original, I tried the original and I didn't really like it. I mean, I liked the concept, but it seemed to have a lot of the same shooter tropes that at the time a lot of other developers were past. Like,
no, not Homefront. Homeworld. Homeworld is a PC game.
Oh, Homeworld.
It's a RTS in space.
Okay.
Speaking of RTSs in space, man, if somebody did that Star Trek game, a new version of that Star Trek game, there was a Star Trek game, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but there was a Star Trek RTS that was like ship battles.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, that game was great. I remember playing that on PC.
Nice.
So what have you been playing? I think we're gonna hit our time limit soon.
I've been playing Mass Effect.
You went all the way back to 1. Yeah. Oh, the name of the
I'm
game
past
was,
1 now. I beat it.
Star Trek Armada.
They did that?
Star Trek. No. We were just talking about RTS.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Because of Homeworld, I started thinking about RTSs. But Star Trek Armada was great.
Cool. But yeah, I went back to 1, and I already finished it. Can't remember how many hours I put into it, but but yeah, I replayed them early. We normally replay them around November because N7. But I just got on a kick this summer and I played through them. So, but now I'm just kind of casually playing through it. But I started to, and but yeah, and Genesis worked for some reason. I never had that pop up, even though I imported my Mass Effect 1 save. But it just told me what I did. I didn't get to choose anything.
Alright.
So, but yeah. And you know how I really like Mass Effect on PC. The one thing that is a little weird, and I guess if you go back and hear people back in the day be like, oh, this game's just a console port. I hate it when they port video games from the console and put it on PC, because instead of making it on PC and then porting it to the console, it's not that the game looks bad, but when you have a ported, at least back then, when you would port a game from a console to the PC, the pre-rendered cutscenes they look like they did on the console. So your cutscenes look worse than your game, which is normally the other way around.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just only one little thing that is a little bit of a gripe, because but it's a very small one. If you're like, wow, this doesn't look like, it does kind of bring you out of it a little bit. You're like, this really crisp. And one thing on the PC for Mass Effect, I turned the film grain off and I turned the motion blur off.
I typically turn the film grain off first. It's like one of the first things I do.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think Mass Effect did it that well. I mean, there's some... I don't even know... I know why they did it. They wanted to kind of feel like a 70s or 80s sci-fi movie. But film grain in a video game really only works for something like Left 4 Dead, like a horror game. Because you make it feel kind of like that grindhouse feel.
I don't want it there either, to be honest. I don't want film grain.
But...
we passed that. We HD, baby.
Yeah.
We don't need no film. We don't need no film grain.
But yeah, I definitely think it looked really bad on Mass Effect on PS3. Like the first one, it was like really grainy.
Never played Mass Effect 3 on Sony, any of the Sony stuff. I played Mass Effect 2, I played Mass Effect 2 on PS3, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. The texture pop-in was bad, even to the point to where if I had a sniper rifle, I would zoom in to the sniper rifle, and it'll take a second for the rest of the textures to pop up.
Yeah, you said that before. It's not good.
It was real bad. And then some people didn't have those issues at all, but I did.
And that's all that matters. Yeah,
all that matters to me, it does.
Yeah, I definitely been sharing some. Just like it just amazes me. I'm like, hey guys, this is Mass Effect 1. Look at this shit. Look at these skyboxes. But yeah, I just think it's cool that like 11-year-old game you play on PC and it'll be like not like a new game, but it will look. Nice.
It looks like a modern game.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really all I've been playing. Cause just, I mean, I actually would like to play something co-op with somebody, if anybody would play with me. But nobody wants to play.
Speaking of co-op, I played Killing Floor on PC.
Did it work?
Yes.
Did you invite somebody?
I play a little bit with randoms. I play a little bit by myself. So it was just kind of weird. Here's the thing about playing on PC. When you do like the objectives, especially the seasonal objectives on console, those seasonal objectives don't count unless you're playing with other people. If you play a solo offline game, you don't get anything extra. Like if you play double XP, if you play a solo offline game, you don't get double XP. But on PC, you do. So I played a little bit of solo. I played a decent amount of the 2 new maps. Santa Claus in the Santa's Workshop thing, and also Santa Claus Badass Santa is a new downloadable character.
Mm-hmm.
Voiced by Gary Busey.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of fucking awesome.
Voiced by Gary Busey. So, yeah. That's kind of fun. You know what? The worst part about the Santa's Workshop one is that the boss is always Krampus. Krampus is just a reskinned version of the Abomination.
Right.
So that's a pity. And right now, one of the seasonal objectives is glitched because I kept doing it and wondering why I didn't get it when I was playing with randoms. But apparently, working with randoms, it doesn't work. So you have to play by yourself to achieve that objective, which is kind of messed up. And one of the objectives is the same as it was before. We had to get 2,500 kills, but Since there's 2 new maps, unlike the Halloween update, it's not locked into that one map. So you got to get 2,500 kills, and you got to kill 25 bosses. As like those are 2 of your objectives. But like you get as completing the objectives this time, you get the Abomination's axe, which is really powerful. They're probably gonna nerf the shit out of that in the update soon. But it's like it's crazy powerful. I seen a dude on I haven't unlocked it yet, but I seen a dude basically 2-shot a Scrake with that axe. Hit a Scrake twice and he was out of there.
Nice. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I did that. And then continuing the Mass Effect conversation, I did play some Andromeda multiplayer with Blue and Ace, and then we kept the other slot open for random. But yeah, that was really fun. That was super fun. I enjoyed the shit out of that. It made me really want to play Andromeda again, but I'm trying my hardest not to because there's so many other games I should be playing, but I keep defaulting back to Killing Floor.
Well, does Andromeda is it still active? Because I heard that Mass Effect 3's multiplayer is still pretty active.
Yeah, Andromeda multiplayer, like we played and we had several people join in. We were never without a fort. So obviously the multiplayer is active in some capacity. I don't know if it's active as
you guys playing on silver or
we most of us had not played in a while, so we played a little bit on bronze. I can't remember if we upped it to silver at some point, but of course I'm not the person that likes to run and hide, so I die a lot.
Right.
And I definitely did die a lot.
Well, cool, man.
And then I'm going to be starting a RimWorld playthrough where I'm gonna do the Naked and Alone playthrough, where you start with absolutely nothing, no clothes, no nothing, and have to build a colony starting with just you. I want to take on the challenge. I'm not trying to make it like super hard, but yeah.
Do you think you would like these survival games and stuff, like the Forest and stuff like that?
I would be interested to try. I don't know if I'm interested enough to buy. You know what I mean? Like I like the RimWorld thing, because RimWorld is basically fucking. It's kind of like The Sims.
Well, if the forest is the only one that kind of intrigues me, just because it kind of it doesn't look like a battle royale type game. It looks, and it's co-op, and so if it's on sale sometime, I wouldn't mind trying that with you, because it's something that I'm not really that interested in, because I'm not really that interested in survival, but just that game just looks like it's probably the better of a lot of those.
The other game that came out, I can't think of the name, is Earth something, that's basically Left 4 Dead with aliens instead.
Earth, it's like Earth Lock or something like that.
Something like that. That game looks like it's a lot of fun, but every time I watched anybody play it, the one thing that they had to say is it's incredibly difficult. And you know me, I am difficult averse.
Right.
So, I don't know how much of this new shit I would like to try, but, you know, it didn't look bad. Like, your homie showed me a video of it and stuff, and that seemed kind of cool. I just didn't like the fact that, like, I could come across other players and they could just fucking slaughter me for no reason.
Yeah.
Because it's co-op, but you're still put in a world. And that's the part of it that would bother me, is being in that world, being in the wild, and having someone fuck me up on sight. And it's like, fuck, dude. That's kind of like how, I already am not a Fallout fan, but Fallout 76 doesn't appeal to me at all.
Oh, you just brought up something. Yeah, Fallout 76 does not appeal to me at all either. Just because, if they made a Fallout game that was kind of a survival game, or even have a survival mode a survival mode in like Fallout 4, I think it could work and it could be kind of fun. But having people in the game and expecting them, our vision is to have every NPC to be a person, like everybody's working together to try to do the same thing and whatnot. People can be assholes, but they'll be the raiders and you'll be the good guys. It's like, that's never going to work, because it's been shown time and time again that they're always going to try to troll. And so there was a whole thing to where it was like, when did it come out? It was like today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Like, somebody has already like made an algorithm to figure out codes for the nuclear things, to where the nukes have already like went off like within the next day, and that's supposed to be like something super hard to do.
Right.
And which is another weird thing, to where people will be like, they will streamline, they will come up with some ways to figure out when public events are, when this is, where's the best way to get all the best loot, and then complain that they've got all the best loot so fast and there's nothing to do in the game. Fuck this game. This game's stupid. There's nothing to do. It's so short. And they're the ones who just fucking streamline everything and min-maxed and tried the best way to like get all the level up. I want to level up super fast. I want to get to the highest level as fast as I can, and then complain that you got to the highest level too fast.
Right.
But
it's kind of like the people who like rush through a game like Destiny, and then before the rest of the content gets released, they get bored and act like there's something wrong with the game. No, you stayed up for 2 days straight playing through the game and then got to the end game too fucking fast before the raid was out. Like, that's whose fault?
Yeah. But that's not actually what. That was just my thoughts on just getting it out of the way, that I'm not interested in the game. But I am like almost like, fuck the user reviews, and I'm just gonna like get all my reviews from like fucking Game Informer in a magazine, cause fuck this shit. Cause people
I feel the same.
On Fallout 76, it's got review bomb to where like on Metacritic the user review score is like 2 out of 10, because people are mad that it's not being released on Steam.
That's weird. Or that's sucky. Probably a little bit of both.
But it has nothing to do with the game. It's just, that's like saying I can only get this game. I have to go to Best Buy to this game. I only buy my games at Walmart. It's not being sold at Walmart, so fuck this game. This game's stupid. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you could,
yeah, it just sucks, and I understand what you're saying, but I think we got to wrap this up. Like,
cool, man.
Time.
Yeah, man, we definitely do.
We didn't even talk about what we've been watching, but I think I discussed most of that already on Facetious. So, you want to know my answer? Go there.
Yeah, Facetious. It's cool. Less me, more blue.
If you can blitz through yours, that'll be fine.
I haven't been watching anything.
Okay. I think we got it.
Yeah.
All right. So, I am going to, man, I've been staying up every night, like editing these painting videos and stuff like that. And shout out to the homie Ron Block, because Ron Block, sent me a message saying that his daughter in her art class watches the painting videos, which I think is incredibly dope. And it made me feel something really awesome when he told me that. Like, I almost shed tears.
Yeah,
Tears
Ron
of
Block
joy.
seems like a good dude.
Yeah, man. And like Ron Block was like the first person to actually win the contest when I started this.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Ron Block. But yeah, man. So I've been staying up working on these things and then just like passing out sleep. Like I'm drifting now. Like my eyes have been closed most of the last, I don't know, half an hour. So like I'm just dog ass tired. And I still got to put up the damn video that I edited right before the show. So yay. Check your boy out. Peace Through Colors, Arts and Crafts on Facebook and the YouTubes. It's just Scarfinger. All this stuff is on my Scarfinger. I did put up a couple of videos on Instagram, but Instagram has a time limit and I talk too much. So the first one I did for Instagram, it was 15 minutes and it needed to be 10 max.
Mm-hmm.
So check out that. That was really cool. I get a lot of strong responses from Instagram as opposed to YouTube. So yeah, man. Thank you again for doing this. I'm talking to you personally, even though my eyes aren't open. And thank you to the people for listening to it, man. We appreciate all of you. I'm just gonna start working back on the Patreon thing. And I'm going to do the Patreon thing for like the podcast stuff and the painting stuff all together as one. And I mean, I already have the Patreon set up. I just ain't set up anything about it yet. So that's coming soon.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is November. So we got we got 3 more months until we're going to kind of revamp things, and we might have some stuff streamlined to where it might be a little bit easier for people to find us live.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to I'll close out the show. Okay. So again, thank you to all of the people. Thank you to Lomi Chase who puts all of this stuff together, because I don't at this point, and that's great for me because that's one less thing I got to do. Because I feel like I'm doing a whole lot and I got to do all this shit by myself, which sucks. And you know, just thank you to the people, man. We so appreciate y'all, each and every one of y'all. I know it's been a little bit since we put out a show, and then, you know, with the Extra Life stuff, and we never really got around to doing a show. We chose to play a game instead, terribly. That didn't actually end up on the stream, which sucks. But, you know, it's life at this point. So we've been going for a little bit, and then technical difficulties on the last show, and hopefully this technically will work out as a better show.
Yes.
So, for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Sarcasm, and we're out of here. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Look, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.